Hey, Stormfront freaks. It is Cyrena Arnold. We are doing a takeover episode tonight. We're going to talk about everything that you need to know about weather apps. So stay tuned because we've got some pretty sweet guests. We're going to tell you what these weather apps are good for, maybe not so good for. We're going to answer the questions that you guys have here on episode 220 of the Stormfront Freaks Live.
Going green.
Greenwich.
Saddle up.
You got it, boss.
Awesome. All right. Well, so welcome to the most entertaining weather show. Hands down, tonight is going to be an exception to that even. So this is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks Live, brought to you by our friends at Windstorm Products. As hurricane season approaches, it is crucial to ensure your home is prepared for the worst. That's why we trust Windstorm Products for all your hurricane hardware needs. With a wide range of products for wood, concrete, or brick homes, they've got something you need to secure your property. And boy, is that needed this year. Visit windstormproducts.com and fortify your home today. So, hey, thanks to all of our Patreon teammates. We've got the names scrolling across the bottom. We've got Dan, Tim, Steve, Garrett, Angela, let's see, Jan, all right, Jamie, Al, Lauren, Alec, Stacy, Jeremy. All these guys know the awesome benefits of being a Patreon member of the Stormfront Freaks podcast. We have Grant, Cindy, Chris, Jennifer, Steve, Jody. This is an amazing group of people. Sometimes these guys get special swag, stuff like that too. Pretty awesome. Jody, Patrick, we got Vince Welty, Green Frogger, KD, Paradigm Films, Maddie, Tanya, and Sue Rollins. So thank you all so much for your support of the show. We know you guys are going to have an extra good time here with us tonight. So if you want to find out how to become a Patreon member, all you have to do is go to stormfrontfreaks.com. So welcome to everyone also joining in the YouTube chat tonight. What's up? Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll be sure that super chats get their questions asked or their comments heard. So definitely make sure you're going to do that. So with that, we're going to go ahead and go around the room and introduce the team tonight. Our fearless leader, Phil, gets to kind of sit back for this one, buddy. What are you drinking?
Woo, nobody ever asked me what I'm drinking. I love this.
I know.
So I'm looking forward to this tonight, Cyrena. This is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm drinking a bottle of On the Rocks, the margarita made with Hornitos tequila. So I'm just drinking it out of this little mini bottle, and it's delicious.
He's going to be drunk on his little vacation.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Speaking of, Dina, why don't you go ahead and let us know what you're drinking tonight?
I'm totally so basic. Let's have a bud.
You know what?
Boring. I just like my beers.
You know what, Dina? You're a real man of genius. That's all I gotta say. I think it's awesome.
This bud's for you, Cyrena.
All right, Maz, what are you drinking here tonight?
Hey, it's autumn, and for October, I'm doing. Oh, you can't see it. Why is it disappearing? It's Angry Orchard, and it's the crisp apple. I'm loving it.
You lost your arm. I'm sorry to hear about that.
I'm losing parts everywhere. Things are falling off, man.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, so tell you what, we're going to go ahead and get to our guests. So tonight we are taking a deep dive into weather apps. This is hands down the most popular request. I reached out to my followers and said, hey, I get to do an episode about whatever I want. What do you guys want to hear? And everybody hands down wanted to learn more about weather apps. So that's what we're going to be doing here. So we've got three awesome guests with us tonight. First, we have Paxton Calvanese. He's a software developer, was for 15 years, and is also a pilot. His natural ability to code and explain things led him into developing several apps, including the Drive Weather app. Thanks for joining us tonight, Paxton.
Hi, thanks for being here.
Awesome.
Thanks for
All
having
right.
me, I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So second, we have Matthew Cappucci from MyRadar. He graduated from Harvard in 2019 with a degree in atmospheric science. He's also a contributor for the Capital Weather Gang and was on the Midland Odessa storm with Stormfront Freaks back in May, where they issued that very unique DVD-sized hail warning. Thanks for joining us tonight, Matt.
Hey, good to be here. I'm running on very little sleep, so my apologies in advance, but Yeah. Oh, and as for what I'm drinking, Pure Life water, sponsored by the Hilton Garden Inn.
That's amazing. I'm glad, considering your location in Orlando.
Stay
and,
hydrated, Matthew.
I'm glad
Did
you were
you
able to
just get a-
find that.
Did you just get a kickback right there?
I wish. I wish. Gosh, I
Oh,
really
okay.
Better
want.
than a commercial.
I want to get Safe Light to sponsor me because Lord knows I'm going to go through more windshields. So I got to
There you
wrangle
go.
that.
Right.
All right. And our third guest tonight, we have Danielle Ehresman. She graduated this past May from UAlbany and is currently working at AccuWeather after internships in Arizona and Montana, collecting snow total reports. Danielle works the night shift in State College, creating discussions and maps for the media with AccuWeather. Thanks for joining us tonight, Danielle.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's really, really exciting to be here, especially since I'm a recent grad. And I am drinking Sprite tonight.
Very nice. Very nice. Hey, Paxton,
Okay.
you didn't get the chance to tell us what you're drinking. What are you drinking, buddy?
Well, I don't drink any, but if I did drink, it would be an old fashioned. I just got some bubbly water
Ooh.
here.
You know, a bourbon man, a man after my own heart. Okay, so I also want to say Dina's here kind of in two capacities tonight because she's our resident Weather Channel pro. She's been with the Weather Channel for 27 years, you guys. So she gets to wear two hats tonight as the Stormfront Freaks co-host and also someone who's bringing a perspective from the Weather Channel app. So let's just dive into it right now. We'll kind of go around the room. Why are you where you are? Like, Dina, why are you at the Weather Channel? Paxton, why drive Weather app? And I'll start with Paxton. Why don't you go ahead and give me the why as to why you're here?
That's a long story. It starts off with a near-death experience when I was flying a plane out west with my kids. Got into some trouble with the weather. Previous to that, I was in software development in Chicago, consulted for, 10, 15 years. And I hated software development. I hated it. But I got divorced. Learned how to fly and bought a plane. Was flying out west of the Badlands from Chicago. Ran to the clouds. I was flying VFR, got into the clouds. I'm IFR rated, but the clouds weren't in the forecast. So when you talk about aviation weather, this is aviation weather, it's very, there's a lot of information to parse, and it's all at that time. This was when was this? I think 13. It was just a very how much time do I have? An hour, 2 hours here? What?
This is just intros,
That was
man.
a movie. I got
is just
everything:
intros.
drama, life, death. So basically, I had this idea how to visualize weather, and it was all about a go no go decision after this kind of near death experience with my kids. I don't tell the ex. I don't think she knows yet. And so. After that, I made my first app was WX24 Pilot. I did that for a while. And then, I had this great idea that there's a lot more drivers in the world than there are pilots. So I kind of took the basics of that app and I made Drive Weather. And it kind of sold itself. It's hard to get pilots to do anything. It was really a hard sell for them because of a paradigm shift. But when I made the Drive Weather app, it just sold itself. And then, you follow the money and here I am today.
That's very cool. All right, nice. So it's always nice to know the backstory. Danielle, you're a recent grad and have had a whole bunch of options put in front of you. You went with AccuWeather. Tell us a little bit why. What do you love about it?
One of the reasons why was a lot of my internships up to that point in junior year that I talked with you about were kind of in past analysis and kind of data driven almost. The snow totals thing was kind of providing reports on events for basically the main clients were kind of snow removal companies. So it was kind of a in between of the customer and the company itself to kind of say, here's a third party source that's pretty reliable. And they either usually do bills by per storm, the amount per storm, or kind of a yearly rate based on climatology and may get refunded one way or another, have to pay more depending on how much snow that fell. And I was very anti-forecasting up until probably my sophomore year of college. And I said, you know what, I was in my AMS for my school, a meeting, and they invited AccuWeather to come talk about AccuWeather. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And then I sat through this presentation and I learned a lot more about what they do, because up to that point I was really only aware of the website and the app, And then I learned about like AccuWeather for Business and how they handle doing specific warnings based on like client needs. So like there's hospitals that need to know when like winds will gust above a certain number, but like the weather service can't warn for that. So it's kind of like they can kind of assist in that sort of way. And that was one of the things I found really interesting. And also just like the global aspect of the forecasting, like the thought of going into the National Weather Service was interesting to me, but the fact that I could forecast anywhere in the world just like really seemed very interesting to me. And then I submitted my application, and then I interviewed, and I thought I did pretty well in the interview, but I was really nervous. I had a lot of imposter syndrome, and I ended up getting the offer, and I really molded over. And like I told you, I had put out applications for REUs, but I decided to end up pulling those applications because I was a little iffy on grad school, but I was pretty sure that I wanted to work right out of college because I really enjoyed working, but I kind of had trouble with like the work-life balance of school and college. So I ended up accepting, and then I interned there last summer, and I really enjoyed it. I really like made a lot of friends on the forecasting team, and I just kind of really liked the day-to-day sort of tasks and all the different career paths you could take. So I think eventually down the road, I'd like to do some sort of forensic meteorology, and they have a forensics department. And they also, they have software developers and like a data team, and they do a lot with data. So kind of knowing that my options are open down the road other than just operations was really interesting to me too.
That's awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool. No, it's neat to hear about all the different stuff AccuWeather can do. All right. So then Matt, last, you're with My Radar. How'd you end up there? What's the story there?
So the weird thing is I've never actually like applied to a job in a normal manner. Every job that I've had has just sort of appeared. I've never done like a formal application. So years ago when I was in college, I got an email from Jason Cyrena with the Washington Post asking basically if I wanted to try writing. And I said, sure. And so for my junior and senior years in college, I was writing articles. When I graduated, I wanted to go into TV, but I knew nobody would take a shot on a 21-year-old. And I was fortunate enough to receive an invite from Jason Cyrena with the Washington Post to basically come down to DC, write full time, and sort of see where it led me. So I did that, went down there, started doing radio on the side for them. And then the pandemic hit. And during the pandemic, couldn't do too much of anything. I was fully remote. And after about 6 months, I decided, I'm remote now. I might as well just do some storm chasing and post my own videos online and see if that gains traction. And somehow it did. I went to Alaska, got the Northern Lights, posted videos. People loved that on social media. Chased a bunch of tornadoes in early 2021. People loved that. Hurricane chases. And suddenly, my following started creeping up and people liked my on-camera presence. And so one day I'd had, a couple of glasses of wine and I was like, screw it, why not? And I DM'd the news director from the local, Fox affiliate in DC and said, hey, I see you have an opening. I have no experience, but I think I know what I'm talking about. So give me a shot. And to my surprise, he said, sure. So suddenly I was a part-time meteorologist there. And that same week, My Radar reached out. And so for about 2.5 years, I worked 5 jobs at once. I would get up each morning and, several days a week, go to Fox in the morning and do the weather from 4 in the morning to 11. During commercials, I'd write a Washington Post article. I'd prepare forecasts for My Radar, go home to my home studio and film those. I do radio in the afternoon. I would tutor on the side in the evenings via Zoom, and then I'd run 5 to 8 miles a day. Did that for 2.5 years. Fox had some
Matt, you sound like a bit of a slacker.
Yeah, slow down, buddy. Slow down.
I'm getting tired just listening to you.
I'm tired just listening to all of that.
know.
I thought I was an overachiever.
But I love being busy. Like right now. So after a while, back in November of last year, following some changes at the corporate level, Fox had some budget cuts. And so I was presented with a pretty good sized pay cut and wound up going with My Radar instead full time because they offered a great 3-year contract. Honestly, the dream contract for broadcasting. And so I'm doing that. And the interesting thing, My Radar is what weather broadcasting needs to be. I loved TV. It was fun. It was a cool energy. But at the same time, the kids don't tune into TV. It's not part of people's routines anymore. Viewership is dropping drastically. And there's a better way to reach people. With My Radar today, for example, at 4 p.m., I sent a buzz to everybody's phones across central and northern parts of North America saying the Northern Lights might come tonight. And now that's happening. But they only got that geotag buzz if they were in that polygon I drew. I did that yesterday for the Stingjet, for the Surge, for every different facet that Milton had to offer. And so we can bring people TV-style forecasts on a local level that activate their cell phone in a geo-targeted area. TV can't do any of that. So I kind of love forging this new path. It's a weird contract. It's a weird job, and it's perfect for me.
Very cool. All right, so freaks, we've got experts. let's dive into the details. Maz, let's go for it.
Well, I was just going to say, do you half expect to hear Matt be like, I don't know how I became a senator. It just kind of happened one day.
And then I was president of the United States.
I know. I'm like, is he like the luckiest guy in the world? I don't know. I just then I got a big pay raise. I don't know, you know. So anyway. Yeah. So what do you want to do then, Matt? I mean, is there like, hey, what's post my radar after that, you know?
So the honest answer is that, years ago, my North Star was to be a network TV morning meteorologist, Ginger Z, Cantori, Al Roker, whatever. And in the past, 2 years, that sort of changed, just seeing how TV is changing so quickly. I always dreamt of being a top market TV meteorologist, and I got to do that for several years. But having only 45 seconds to do a forecast in the morning, there's just nothing that I can give to viewers that an automated app can't give. And there came a point when I was like, if I can't beat them, join them. And so now I'm able to be part of an app that ordinarily would have been my competition as a broadcast meteorologist, but now I get to be a broadcast met for an app. So truth be told, I don't really know what the future holds, which is very daunting to me because I always have a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plan. And
no kidding.
First time,
I'm totally shocked by that.
Senator, president.
I always wanted to, this will sound so dumb, but when I was little, I always wanted to be married on April 8th, 2024, beneath the total solar eclipse. And I was planning like a wedding in Austin and all this stuff. And granted, I don't date. There's been no dating or anything. It was just way too much optimism. So sometimes my 20-year plans don't work.
So I want to ask this. So Paxton, you've developed weather apps. So as we're talking weather apps, you've gone through the painstaking detail of actually creating them, and not just one, but multiple apps. What's the hardest part in really creating a weather app? Like what's the part of creating that you just can't seem to get that part right? Or as good as you wanted it to be. Maybe not right.
Yeah, tell us your failures. Tell us what doesn't work.
There's not enough time. There's
some truth to that, I'm sure.
So I'm kind of a problem solver, like an entrepreneur. Like I'm good. So I'm good at designing and coming up with solutions, and I happen to be very visual. And so I had this idea of how to represent the weather. And it just kind of popped in my head one day, and when I was working on a separate project, and I just knew that this was, and it kind of all started like, what do they say? Necessity is the mother of all invention, right? And when I'm looking at the aviation weather charts, I mean, it literally took me 20 minutes to go through this alphanumeric text all along a flight route and figure out where I'll be at each point and calculate what the weather is going to be at that point. And basically the first step I did took that down to literally seconds, and everything was about a go, no go decision. And the way I guess what I'm saying is, it's like, I just had this concept of how I wanted, like, what's my flavor of weather app, right? There's 100 thousands of weather apps, and everybody's got a different flavor. So mine is just presenting all the information so that the user can make a decision, like basically a go, no go decision. And the genesis was the aviation weather app. So I was pretty clear on my mission. Like, it wasn't like, like the dumbest thing you could do is say, I think I'll make a weather app. Like it's a hard, like, talk about a difficult, idiotic market to get into if you want to make money, right? Like, you'd be better off, panhandling. So anyway, but I had this vision of how to represent weather that nobody else was doing. And I did it. And I think that, so I'm getting to the answer to your question. For me, the development is easy. Like, it's because I'm just naturally good at that stuff. I don't like it, but I happen to be good at it, so I do that. So pre-launch, life is wonderful. Like you have these visions of like fame and fortune because everybody's going to love your app and it's just going to, it's going to go viral. And then when you launch it and you get like these idiotic 1-star reviews that have no bearing on anything, that hurts, right? Because it's a free version, it's a paid version. And so it was the hardest thing for me in this whole journey in the first year was looking at these reviews. And if you look at some of my responses, you can see how I didn't do so well with the responses. But like people, like, you work so hard, and this is my whole life, right? Like, this is my future. I'm banking on this because I think it's a good idea. And people, like, they don't understand it. They make fun of it. They say stupid things. They give it a 1-star review
People are
for
mean.
stuff that's not even true, right? Like, it's not even true. And then the people, everybody who likes the app, they don't write reviews, right? They say, oh yeah, it's good, but they won't write a review. Even if I ask them, they won't write a review. So
Paxton, I love your app. I use your app. I'm just saying.
Oh,
so.
cool. Good,
But I should probably write a review.
I was going to say, are you going to write a review,
Yeah,
Naz?
There's cash rewards for good reviews. After the show, meet behind back. So it was really kind of. I did everything myself. I did hire some freelancers here and there to kind of help me out with some of the geospatial stuff. But I always find development easy. It was really once you launch it, then it's game on, right? Then you have to deal with issues in production. You got, discovering issues that you could never test for, and that type of thing. And so I would say, like, post launching, just dealing with the business end of it was and just the right market. I was never good at marketing, so it's funny. Like, I could spend $10,000 on development, right, and you know what you're going to get out. It's very simple. But you spend $10,000 on advertising, you have no idea if you get a return or not. It's very elusive. So it's always uncomfortable to do that.
Yeah. All right. So I've got a question that's going to be for Danielle and for Dina. And Dina, I'm going to have you go first. With the time that you spent with the Weather Channel, and you've seen our technology go from no app to app, what is the most infuriating thing people do or say that makes you just want to lose it when it comes to weather apps, where you're like, no? And then after your answer, I'm going to have Danielle answer with like her perspective being kind of new to all of this. So what is it that you wish you could shake someone and tell them about weather apps?
Maybe we were kind of chatting about this today, and I'm not sort of weather app, but it's like if you have scattered showers or scattered thunderstorms and they don't see it at their house, but 5 miles away, somebody got hit.
Yes.
They go, there is nothing. They're wrong. You're wrong. And I mean, it's funny because over the years, the way the models have gotten better and more high resolution, things like that, like we're really getting better at pinpointing things, but it's not perfect. And I think people just want, and it's kind of what you kind of said, Paxton, go or no go in a way. Just tell me if I need to do something or not do something. Because people want simple answers. They want to be like, am I going to flood? Do I need to leave? And even when you say you do, they don't. So it's kind of like you're arguing with people. They ask you questions and then they argue with you about it if it's not the answer they want. But I think the changes in weather and how people understand it, because even like as the day goes on, that forecast will update and change. And like, why did it change? Because we've got more model data coming in every hour. That's why it changes. So it's just a lot about, like, I guess my biggest thing is like how people ingest this. Like, we've made it as simple as possible, but there's still a disconnect, I think, with a lot of people. Like I said, 5 miles down the road, somebody's house could have gotten flooded. And at my house, it was just a lot of rain. So it was nothing. It's nothing.
No, there's definitely this. If it didn't happen to me, it didn't happen perception out there. I know I definitely see that. Danielle, being on the other side of the spectrum and being a little bit newer to this.
Yeah.
What are some things that you hear that you're like, no, oh my God, if you only knew?
Yeah, I would think my answer was actually going to be very similar to Dina's, because that is true. Like the forecast does change quite a bit, especially beyond days 4 and 5. And there's a really strong focus on kind of that period, because that's what people will be looking at the most. But yeah, there's definitely some sort of sentiment of like, oh, it didn't happen to me. It was only, or sometimes people are kind of on the opposite end, and they'll see like 25 or 30% chance, and then they'll like submit a complaint that like something did happen, but like the percentage was so low. And I don't know, there's been quite a few ones specific to at least AccuWeather from the time that I've been there. Like there was someone who was complaining about the indoor humidity parameter once, and he was like, oh, I'm an HVAC guy, and we were just kind of scratching our heads like, okay. And I think a more recent one is probably the future radar. I think a lot of people have a very poor understanding of what that is, and especially with Milton, there have been a lot of screen recordings and screenshots of like future radars going around online that look really funky. And I think a misconception that people have is they don't realize that a lot of that data, if it is not like continental US, it is satellite derived. And that is one thing that really I try to tell people, if they can, if they're open to listening to what I have to say. But I think that's another one that kind of irks me a little bit as a meteorologist, is kind of the general public's understanding of future radar. But I definitely think that there could be some improvement there. But the data is only as good as what you have to put in. So like, for the Gulf, of course it's going to do funky things, because it's not like, we have really high resolution data for, I'm sure you guys are aware of like, the HER projection or the NAM 3 kilometer. Like there's really good fine data for the continental US, but not in a place like the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you completely. In fact, like we're kind of spoiled because of that, because we've got such good data sources here. And the second you leave that and go to the Gulf, people don't realize what differences there are between like radar collected data from radar locations on land versus that satellite derived. And anytime there's a glitch, a blip, remember, this is a data source and it's imperfect. It's never going to be perfect. And anytime there's the smallest glitch, those get recorded and screenshot and sent on social media as like weather engineering. Like that's right away where that always goes.
Yeah, even just good old plain, like radar glitches, like you were talking about. I saw your video, and there's beam blockages that look funky. There's clear air mode that can show birds and everything. So yeah, for sure.
It's hard when we're making a data source that's very scientific and requires some training to use. You give it to the public without the proper training.
Yeah, I've been seeing a really large uptick. I don't know if it's just my algorithm, in like people using tropical tidbits and looking at the GFS beyond day 7.
And let's look at like 240 hours, because the GFS is a drama queen.
And
I see one more 300-hour forecast posted on social media by a meteorologist. I may lose it.
Yeah, that has been one piece of information that I feel like, as just a meteorologist and someone who really cares about weather communication, just kind of passing along the message like, hey, like this isn't a super reliable source beyond a week. It's very known in the weather community for doing this thing, and part of the reason is because like the GFS doesn't calculate upwelling from tropical systems, kind of like I'm pretty sure the Euro does, but the GFS does not, and the general public doesn't know that. That was something I actually learned just my senior year of college. So
So Matt, I got a question for you when it comes again to apps, because I've seen some weather apps that like overdo it. There's just too much, and it's all on a small screen. So like us old people, like Maz and I, and MJ in the back there, it's just
I'm
hard
glad you didn't include me. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, you've only been at the Weather Channel for 43 years, or what was that number again? Something like that.
27.
Yes.
So
I'm actually working with people who were born after I started.
don't say that. Don't say
I'm a
that. You don't
97
have to
baby.
tell
I do.
people that. So the question I've got for you, Matt, is how do you figure out the balance? Like, how do you not overdo it trying to provide all this information you think people really want because you want it? Like, you're a weather guy. It's like, I would love this, and I would love this, and I would love this. But at what point you're like, this is too much? How do you find the balance? And I'm sure some of it probably has to do knowing your niche and what you're trying to accomplish. But how has that worked with My Radar?
You know, truth be told, I don't think we found the balance yet, but I don't think any app really has found the balance. It's tricky because on the one hand, if you don't give someone this information, they're going to find it elsewhere. You know, if you don't show someone the weather model, regardless of whether or not they're qualified to interpret that weather model, they'll go elsewhere to find it. And so that's a tricky thing. But if you give them too much, it can be overwhelming. So the way that you know, my superiors have quite adroitly structured things is to make it almost like a tiered system. With the basic, you know, My Radar free version, you get a certain number of features that are very useful. And it's sort of enough to kind of get your hands dirty with the data, but not overwhelm yourself. Once you become a pro subscriber or premium feature subscriber, you can start getting to the more advanced things that might require a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more time investment. But by virtue of you investing financially and, you know, spending whatever it is, $3, $4 for this premium subscription, you know, that's kind of tells us that you want that information anyway. You're willing to put in the uphill, you know, learning curve there. The other thing we do too is that, you know, unlike any other app, we have a team of on-camera meteorologists who are providing the context for whatever people are seeing. So if they open their weather app and they say, oh, wow, what is this radar signature? What's going on here? Why is there a big box here? They can also just tap a button and see my face or Erica Lopez's face. And we walk people through what's going on. I think in today's day and age, there is so much information out there that we have to do really well about cutting through the noise. And even in the My Radar app, there's a lot of information, a lot of really useful information. We're there to help sort of ground folks and walk them through it to sort of contextualize and make sense of everything that we're giving them.
Do you track how many people watch your face or Erica's face? How many?
Yeah, we get on, you know, typical weather day. If it's like a regular slight risk across the Ohio Valley in the middle of summertime, we might get 25, 30,000 viewers. But during a hurricane week like this, I might have 250,000 people each morning watching me. Erica might have, you know, similar numbers in the afternoon when we switch back and forth and alternate. And those are comparable to numbers you might see in major market TV. And the thing I like about it is that we're only, you know, bugging people, so to speak, when the weather's active. In other words, I'm only sending you a push alert telling you, hey, come here and listen to me when the weather's active. Because realistically, no one cares about sunshine. Nobody is going outside on a sunny day and saying, oh, no, I got to stay tuned. I got to get updates this afternoon.
I don't.
Honestly, it's only a matter of time before TV news is like continuing coverage on Sunshine 2024. But realistically, soon enough they'll start naming Sunshine. But no, realistically, you know, I like the fact that we can let them know when something's going on days when they need it, but we're not bugging them on their days off. So we've sort of trained our users to know, hey, if you're getting this buzz, if Cappucci or Erica are sending you this buzz, there's something worth paying attention to because we don't use it terribly often.
Nice. All right. So Dina, on the flip side of that, right? Like you guys have an app that's been around for a long period of time. You also have on-camera meteorologists. How do you guys find that sweet spot?
I think what is nice about it is everything's kind of what I call a nugget. Like you can pull a nugget of whatever you want or a la carte. So it's very different than when I worked at the network where you are just watching. You don't know what's next. Maybe they're on the West and you live in the Northeast, or you live in Florida and we're talking about Ohio. You know, you choose what you want to see, and they're in small edible nuggets is kind of what I like to say. So not only is all the data there, but you can also watch one of our on-camera meteorologists, and we have different categories of videos that we do every day. And you can just watch what you want. Oh, you want to watch something about the cool down in the Northeast? You can watch it. If you don't live in the Northeast and you live in Phoenix, you can watch something over there. So I think it's like, I like the term a la carte. You don't have to wait for it. You take what you want when you want it. And there's just so much information on there. it's kind of a wealth of knowledge. You can start your day, whether you want to have a nice day and go out and run. If you've got allergies, if you've got skin problems, if you want to talk about Hurricane Milton, if you want to talk about rain or climate. One of my favorite things is like the explainers. That's a lot of what I do too. Like we do a lot of more in-depth meteorological terms. Like if you want to know something about surge, or you want to know something about blowout tides, like we'll decide, hey, let's make a video about that and explain it. Because sometimes, especially if we see something on social media that somebody's like some terms that somebody's going around, like what does that mean? So I think the fact that you can go there and get what you want when you want it, you don't have to wait, is one of the pluses.
Dina, do you have to, and I'm going to ask quick last question here, but do you have to watch like a 15-second commercial before you watch your little 15-second video?
It depends if you have the free version or the premium version.
How about you, Danielle?
I have that, and I don't watch any.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I've had premium for AccuWeather for a while, so I'm not 100% sure about the app. But every time I go on the website, it does make me watch an ad.
Okay.
And yeah.
Matthew, how about you? My Radar, any of your videos, do you have to watch a ad beforehand, at least for your free version?
A brief one. We sometimes disable that when there's high-end weather, and with the premium version, you don't have to.
Got it. Okay.
Very cool. All right. Well, tell you what. Does anyone plug the Mid-Atlantic Severe Weather Conference in their apps? They should. This is coming up. So this is Saturday, October 26th in Richmond, Virginia. It is the ultimate event for storm enthusiasts, meteorologists, and weather pros. So join us for expert speakers and the latest in storm forecasting and research. Tickets are available now, but the prices are going to go up on October 19th. Visit midatlsevere.com to secure your spot today. And don't forget, Stormfront Freaks is a super proud partner of the conference, and attendees are going to go home with a little something from us. So don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to level up your knowledge at midatlsevere.com. So hope we are able to see some of you guys there. So we are going to take a short video break though, but during this video break, we're actually really proud. Stormfront Freaks was able to be a part of a Red Cross telethon with Carolina Weather Group, Weather Brains, Chaser Chat, and this was for Helene victims. And unfortunately, we can add Milton to the list of people who also need Red Cross assistance. So I had an interview with a very dear friend of mine who lives in Asheville about why you should donate to the Red Cross. So we're going to go ahead and cut to that, and then we will be back. Hey, meteorologist Cyrena Arnold from the Stormfront Freaks podcast, and I am here with Scott Stevens. Scott Stevens is meteorologist by training. He is an Asheville resident, and he's also my absolute best friend in the entire world. Scott, you have seen what's been going on in Asheville from the ground in the sky. Talk to me about what you've seen and the severity of the situation there.
The word unprecedented gets thrown around a lot, and I'm not going to pretend like this is the first disaster that's ever befallen the United States or the first flooding event or anything like that, because, I mean, any meteorologist can remember Katrina. They can remember Harvey. It is unprecedented for Asheville. We have never had anything happen like this before. They told us before that this was going to surpass 2004, the floods that happened then. They told us it would surpass the 1916 Asheville floods. They did everything that they could to impress upon everybody the severity of this, and it all happened and then some. It broke every record that we've ever had. It broke the rainfall records. It broke the river level records. It broke the fatality records. So it is truly unprecedented. I don't think that anybody could have possibly been 100% prepared for what has happened to us in the last week.
Oh, I have complete goosebumps from those words, because I know coming from you how strong those words are. And you've got your power back, and you're one of the lucky ones, but it was after how many days or hours?
181 dark hours. Just
not
over
like you were counting.
Not like I was counting. Not like we were all counting. And then again, I know that happens in other places. You know, ice storms in the Midwest can frequently cause power outages that long, honestly, at worst times of year. But again, it is very uncharacteristic for here. Asheville frequently considers itself honestly pretty immune from most of what nature has to throw at us. We don't get severe weather like they do in the plains. We're 250 miles inland, so we don't get storm surge. We don't get terrible blizzards and ice storms. So this really broke the shield for us. It disillusioned a lot of people and reminded us that truly no place is entirely safe. So yeah, we were without power for 8 days. Some people were only without it for 3 or 4 days. There are tens of thousands of people in this county alone that still don't have it back. And here we are on day 10.
Yeah. And you've also mentioned water. You were talking about earlier when we were just talking personally, your kid's school, that's not going to reopen again until they have the water fixed. And even though you have power, you're still having to boil your water. I mean, it's more than just power.
It is. The power was honestly we talked about it the other day. We said of all the things we could have lost, we'd much rather have water but no power, as opposed to the other way around. The city of Asheville's water system was essentially destroyed. Several of the pipelines, several of the feeder valves and the feeder pipes have all been they floated up out of the ground and got destroyed and floated down the river. So 80% of Asheville right now has absolutely no running water, period. Not just a boil water advisory. There's nothing but air coming out of their faucets. And that is why so much of the city is still reeling from this, and why the restaurants can't open, and why the schools can't open, and why the hospital, is running off of emergency water for as long as they can, because the wind was one thing, but honestly, the disaster didn't start until after the wind died down.
I believe that. Now, you're also a member of the Civil Air Patrol, and you're not, a search and rescue and relief missions aren't above what you're used to. You know this. Everyone's out there in full force. I know the Cajun Navy's out there and lots of people. So you've seen this also from the air. You've seen it from the search and rescue perspective too. Give us a glimpse of what you've seen.
I've seen things from the air that you cannot see from the ground, and quite honestly, that's the problem. There are places about 50 miles northeast of here is a much more rural county called Yancey County. There's a town there called Burnsville. Within that county, it is entirely valleys and gorges. The whole county is shaped by rivers that go between the mountains where all of this water was funneled. And what I saw flying over the other day is that there are entire communities north of Burnsville along the Cane River that are completely cut off. What used to be their one road that would get them in and out of civilization isn't just damaged, it's gone. There is a river there now where there used to be a roadbed. So 12, 20 houses at a time are essentially islands now. They cannot leave, and they're 20 miles from civilization, so even walking is not a realistic option. Their only way out now is by helicopter, and that's exactly what's been happening.
Wow. Okay, so to put the bow on this conversation, I honest to God have goosebumps. This is horrific. Why is it important that people donate?
It's weird being on what I'll call the receiving end of a disaster relief. Like you said, I've worked in this world for a long time, and I'm used to coordinating these kind of, supply distribution points. It's surreal being on the side where you might actually have to go take advantage of some of those things. But the importance of donating really cannot be overstated right now, because we are so isolated up here in the mountains. We're, an hour plus from any other major city. The interstates are blocked. It is proving extremely difficult for our normal channels of supply chain to function. The grocery stores are not supplied because they simply can't get trucks in here to supply them. Like I said, 80% of Asheville right now has no water. There are rural communities that are essentially washed away and still don't have power to 80+% of the city. And truly, these donation drives and what is turning into airdrops are quite literally the only method of survival for a lot of people right now. And we're just so far removed from, major metropolitan areas and so difficult to access that that's the only way that stuff is getting here right now. The grocery stores are reopened, they have power, and some of them even have water, but they don't have food.
Wow. Okay. Well, you heard it from Scott. It's incredibly important. So whatever you can do for the people of Asheville and the surrounding areas, Eastern Tennessee, Western North Carolina, we know that it's a broad area. Do what you can to donate today.
The Stormfront Freaks is now available on the Weather Store. Come shop our catalog of shirts, hats, and hoodies, all with our Stormfront Freaks logo and Outbreak logo. Plus, you'll find all your other favorite weather geek and storm chasing gear, footwear, and accessories. Visit the weather store at thewxstore.com, the exclusive supplier of the Stormfront Freaks.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
All right. Welcome back from the break. We are talking everything weather apps, and we've got a whole bunch of different weather apps represented here today. We've got the Weather Channel, we've got AccuWeather, Drive Weather app, My Radar. We spent the time before the break talking about grapes and different things like that. So let's take a second to go around and have you each talk about that one feature in your weather app that you think makes it amazing. That's just your absolute favorite thing you have. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll start with Matt on this one with My Radar.
So we're actually building and launching literally satellites to go up into space and supplement how we view hotspots from wildfires in real time. So, we have some government contracts we're working with right now to send these satellites up. We already have a great wildfire layer in the My Radar app that shows hotspots and smoke plumes and where the fires are. It's going to get even better, especially with our own personal monitoring systems in space, helping to really bolster coverage in places that otherwise would have little to no satellite coverage.
Wow. Okay. That's high tech. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, Paxton. And you could tell us which app you want to do. If it's Drive Weather app or another one, like tell me what's your favorite thing that you've got?
Drive Weather, and what I'm really good at is the visual presentation and distilling information into a very, very quick go-no-go decision. And that's what the Drive Weather app does. It communicates a wealth of information very quickly, so you don't have to waste time sifting through information. And that's what I do well. And you can see that on the display and on the widget, just the way the use of the icons and the visuals, everything's color coordinated or represented. There's a lots of little things behind the scenes. Like it takes a lot of effort behind the scenes to make things presentable in a very easy way, so people could look at it. And that's usually, what people like about it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. No, that's very cool to hear. I love that answer. All right, Dina, with the Weather Channel app, what's your favorite part?
I'm going to say, and it sounds kind of cheesy because I do it, but the videos. Probably that's why I've stuck with it so long. I like being able to explain something visually to someone and make it easy. I mean, all the graphics you see, all the hits and things, I build all that. I write it out. Usually we have an on-camera meteorologist, but there's so many very talented, very experienced meteorologists there that we will talk about things before we do them. And let's say, like, how's the best way to convey this message? Because still to this day, I still think there's an issue with how people ingest information and how they take it in and how they understand it. So I think I get, even after so many years, I still get a little bit of enjoyment out of being able to play something and people understand it, because I'm more visual. So there's some people who are way better writers than me. I'm like, you can write all the articles you want. Good for you. You check my grammar because it's always not that great. But graphically, like since I understand visually better, I think I enjoy that. I like watching the videos. So I think that's my favorite. There's a lot of data on there for everybody, but I do like the videos.
Very cool. No, that makes sense. All right, Danielle, AccuWeather. What's the best part of that app? What do you love the most?
Yeah, in my opinion, and again, this might be coming from a place because I'm in the forecast database a lot, but one thing that I think is different and that is just, I wish it was a little more visible, But when you click on a certain day or a night period, sometimes there can be extra context that we can add to the forecast, or just kind of what we call like extra value. So sometimes if there's like a concert or a football game, we can put in a statement, kind of adding extra context to what the forecast might be. So if it's going to be rainy or chilly, like a jacket might come in handy for the football game, or like a great day to be outside for the football game, because Penn State is the center of the universe around here. So there's
No
a lot
way.
of there's a lot of emphasis on the Penn State football forecast. And when there's more high impact weather, we can go in, and if we think that hail and wind are the largest threat in a day, we can kind of pick out an area and align that with our graphics. We draw our own severe weather graphics for our articles, and it's not, a one-to-one of the SPC, but, we're always looking at our forecasts and just the forecast in general, and kind of using our own meteorologists and expertise to kind of discern, okay, this area, maybe we don't necessarily agree with, or maybe this area we think could be included in this some risk. So, and then we can do some things with timing. So we can say like earlier in the morning, later, mainly later, or later in the afternoon. So those kind of statements, I feel like, if people actually see them, can make a pretty big difference in the forecast. And I feel like it adds some more personality to it as well. Sometimes, it'll output like a great day to be outside, or we can add that ourselves. So just things along that lines. Even when the weather is quiet, there's definitely something that we could always do with the forecast. And, that's always kind of a topic of discussion.
Speaking of character and personality, Cyrena, you should have considered having someone from Carrot Weather maybe on here.
Oh, seriously. No, I was this close, but we're like, look at how full we are. We've got so many people. That would have been the next one I would have had for sure.
So I'm going to have a question for each of you here as we go through this, because you all know when you do something really well, you're going to find some copycats. You're going to find some people that want to mimic what you're doing. Oh, you look like you've got something here, and maybe making money with it. I'm going to go ahead and try and do that as well. So what, I'll go around the horn, but Matthew, start with you. What have you seen other apps trying to mimic something about My Radar, and what have you seen that maybe My Radar picked up on and others are now trying to do?
That's a really good question. I think one thing we have that is very popular is the wind stream feature, which basically is just little wind particles, a very simple thing, but people love that because you can overlay it with other features. But what we found is that historically, we've been sort of like the #1 app for weather enthusiasts. We're not expecting PhD level people to be using our app. We know there are other competitors that, the PhD people might gravitate towards. We're going for the folks who might want to learn a little bit more about weather, the casual Joe who's taking a boat out on the river today, the pilot who's trying to fly from A to B. And we found that we give just the right amount of information for these people and give them a little bit of an ability to learn more if they really want to do a deep dive in the app. And so historically speaking, those folks have been very loyal. In fact, when Andy Green, the CEO, first put this on the App Store, it was one of the original first weather apps and the first free weather apps. And since then, the user base just exploded, became incredibly loyal. And so while we're constantly trying to innovate and find new features, we don't necessarily turn to our competitors to figure out what we should add. We turn to our audience. We crowdsource information. We ask folks, what do you want to see more of? What do you like? What don't you like? What features are complex? What features are nice and easy to use? And we've had a really good luck with just being loyal to the people who gave us, their following and gave us our start.
Sure. Good. Dina, how about you? What have you seen that maybe you guys have done with the Weather Channel app that maybe you've seen other people wanting to mimic or catch on to with their apps?
Honestly, I don't watch a lot of other type of
watch a lot of other apps.
Similar apps.
Sure.
Similar. I do see like a lot of things I make kind of copied, but I kind of like what Matthew said. Like, we're not really looking to what other people are doing. we're just trying to give them the best information possible and the easiest way to do it. I'm sure maybe there's people up higher than me that look at that stuff, but I don't.
Sure. So I'm the whole point of this question, I'm trying to get you and Danielle to get into kind of a chick fight or something maybe. But
Yeah, I don't
not
think
gonna
that's
happen.
going to happen.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No.
So Danielle, how about you? Have you guys been doing something in your app that you found something unique and maybe now you're seeing other people trying to do that as well?
I honestly, I don't know if I've been there long enough to be able
Okay.
to say that for sure. I know Minutecast is a really big feature of our app, but honestly, I don't want to go into the weeds too much there because
Okay.
I know the Weather Channel has something similar, but I don't want to get into the weeds. But I really do like that feature, and that does kind of tie back into the whole future radar thing. But at the end of the day, there isn't a whole lot of emphasis on what our competitors are doing. We're always just kind of focusing on making sure our forecast is as accurate as possible and kind of conveying what we think will be the most impactful part of the forecast to people. So the website and the app are not necessarily one-to-one, but on the website, sometimes if you check your forecast, there will be like a little blurb at the top that will kind of give more context to that, the forecast. But the app is kind of limited in that capacity, I would say. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's a specific feature that I could
that's
really point
legit.
to.
That's fair. In Paxton, so Drive Weather is very specific weather app. So I would have to imagine you've seen people try to pick up on that concept and try and run with
So
it
my
themselves.
closest competitor took my website. So what I did was I put for SEO, if you Google like I-80 weather, I used to come up on top, right? And I have a mini version of my app. And so my competitor, like the nearest competitor, took all my pages. They took the same template. They didn't even change anything. And at that time, I only had 6 hours. And I never, like the others, when you're the leader, you just look at what you're doing. You have your own vision and you follow that. But I was just checking these guys out. I could not believe it. Like they didn't even change the format. And so I changed mine to 12 hours. So at least I had that on them. But now they beat me in SEO, to add insult to injury. But so I've seen that. Apart from that, in the app, I don't think so. I don't think anybody, I haven't seen anybody do what I've done. I do innovative stuff. The way I think one of the things that I do that I've never seen anybody, I'm waiting for it to come around, is I show the color of the sky. So most apps will have 4 icons for partly sunny, partly cloudy, cloudy, and sunny, right? That's how they represent it. But the data is, I show the sky color, which is a little different way of looking at it. And you could have 100 values of that from blue to gray. And it just I think to me, it just adds a little richness to it. And you get to see the patterns of how the clouds come in and how they go out. So if you see that in any other apps, you know that I did it first, just so everybody knows.
Very good.
If you need somebody to take out the competition, I bet Cappucci knows somebody.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
That's
I do
Italians
need a
here.
coincidence. Yeah.
Let me know. I got you.
Oh man, that's awesome. All right, cool. Well, this has been a lot of fun, and it's been cool to talk about this. That sound means that it is definitely time for our lightning round, and our lightning round is a game show of flashy and brilliant questions for our guests. We invite everyone to participate, even if you're in the chat. And so tonight we're going to play a game that I call To the Google. All right. So this comes from a game that, Phil, you've got a game, like a card game or something somewhere where it looks at what people
weird
have
things
Google
people
searched.
search for. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So this is going to be kind of a different take on that. So I literally went into Google and I typed in something and wanted to see what the responses were. Now these are all weather related. So I'm going to tell you what I typed into Google, and then you know how it auto fills in some suggestions for you below. You guys are going to help me. You guys are going to guess what some of those are, and whoever gets the number one will get the special bell here. So Phil, I'll have to, it'll be hard because,
Just
we're
prompt
mixing
me.
it up
Yeah,
today.
you just got to prompt me. Yep, number 1, and I'll
you know what I mean?
I'll buzz everything else.
There
I'll
you
hit that
go.
buzzer.
Right, exactly. All right, I'll do a thumbs up, thumbs
Okay.
down here for you so it works well on the sound. All right. So the first thing I Googled was can hurricanes, and then I left it at that. So I've got a list of the top
Here we
9
go.
things that came up. So what do you guys think were some of the things that it filled with? Can hurricanes blank?
Ooh.
Can I answer this one?
Absolutely.
Be blown up by a nuke.
Damn it! I was going to say the same thing.
Good one. Good one.
I'll give you can hurricanes be stopped? That
Stopped.
one is there. Yeah, that one is in there. That one is number 4. What are some other guesses?
I got one.
Okay.
Can they hypothetically make it to a hypothetical category 6?
That's a lot of hypotheticals. There was no Cat 6 in the top so far,
Oh.
which
man.
I think I was proud of humanity on that one, actually. Good guess, though. All right. Can hurricanes blank?
Can hurricanes cross the equator?
Yes.
Really?
Yep,
Good
that is on
one.
there. That
Oh
is
my
number that was number 6. Can hurricanes cross the equator?
How about can they go counterclockwise?
that is not. You have to buzz yourself, Phil.
I hate doing that.
Don't they all go counterclockwise?
Oh,
in
do
this
they?
hemisphere.
No. Oh, yeah.
I think
yeah,
in the
yeah.
other hemisphere they
Oh,
change.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that was.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
We knew what
All
you
right.
meant.
We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant. I didn't give it to you
Okay.
anyway.
All right.
All right. So here they are.
I'm just giving myself another buzzer.
So here they are from number 9 to number 8. Can hurricanes form over land? Can hurricanes kill dolphins? Can hurricanes form in the
Wow.
Pacific? Can they cross the equator? Can they hit California? Can they be stopped? Can they combine? Can they cause tornadoes? And number 1, can hurricanes be man-made?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't
Right?
I
actually say
almost
that.
said it,
With
and
laser
I was
beams.
like,
I
no,
thought about
you're
it
just gonna
too.
Trigger me.
Lasers.
You're
I
just gonna get
know.
me triggered.
All right. So here we go. So number 2, can tornadoes? So same thing. We're just subbing in tornadoes.
Be blown up.
Ooh, I love that. I'm going to give you be stopped once again. Can tornadoes be
Alright.
stopped? Number 3.
Can they be
tornado-
man-made?
Believe it or not, man-made did not make the top 9 for tornadoes. Only hurricanes, apparently.
I think I have one. Can tornadoes cross a river?
Yes. Can tornadoes cross water?
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
I got one.
Can
Can they
tornadoes form in the
hypothetically make it to a hypothetical EF 6?
Ah!
No, there is no thank goodness, EF6
Dang it.
question.
Dang it. Okay.
Can tornadoes cross mountains?
Yes. Yep. Can tornadoes go up hills? That's definitely one of them. All right. Any last guesses for can tornadoes before I tell you the results?
Pick up cows.
I'm going to give you pickup cars. Yes.
Ooh, well, thank
Okay.
you. I've had too many buzzers in my life.
Part of the country.
Cyrena,
you're
thank
from.
you.
Guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So here we go from number 9 up. Can tornadoes cross water, go up hills, combine, happen anywhere, happen in hilly areas? So that's kind of redundant. Pick up cars, be stopped. Number 2 is my personal favorite. Happen in Massachusetts. It's very specific.
Team First 2011 argues that.
You got to
Yeah.
check your data.
You got to check. And then can tornadoes be predicted? So, okay. All right. There we go. Let's see. Next, we're going to do can rain. Can rain?
Ooh, smell.
Ooh, that's a good one.
People love the smell of rain.
That's a good one. Not on
Really?
the top 9 list of can
Hey,
rain.
misery loves company, Matthew.
I have a candle.
It's all
that
right.
smells like-
I love you.
One of
man.
those
Can
rain,
rain
scented
give
candles.
you achy joints?
Yes, that is totally on here. That's on here a couple times actually. Can it make you sick? Can it cause headaches? Can it cause migraines?
Jeez, wow.
Yeah, that was verified on a couple places.
God, everyone's trying to blame all their ailments in the rain. My gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Poor
to the
rain.
doctors.
What did
We
rain
got to
ever
blame
do
the
to you?
government.
Bill Gates and those vaccines making the rain again.
Oh man.
Can-
Crazy.
Can rain burn your grass?
Or lack of rain?
It's like acid rain
Oh.
during a sun shower.
I'm not I know I can't give you that one, Maz. I'm sorry. I really would like to, but
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, can rain hypothetically kill your hypothetical grass?
Can rain
Right.
just be hypothetical? Period. I suppose. Paxton, you got one. Dan Wallace, you guys got one. What rain? Search and rain. Can rain do what? Give us something.
And
Dan?
drawing a blank. I don't know.
Dan, how about you?
Yeah.
Cause disease.
Oh.
I'll give him cause allergies. Does rain cause allergies?
All right.
I'm very,
I like
very
you're flexible
gracious
with
tonight.
us, Serena.
I'm so flexible. All right, so here, let's read the top 9 for rain.
Wait,
Can rain
can it
cause
be purple? Can
Can
it
it
be
be-
purple?
Gonna be purple.
Purple.
The artist formerly
Who'll
known
stop
as
the rain? Who'll stop the rain? There you go.
Who will
That's
stop
nice.
the rain? Oh, that's another good one. Very good one.
one?
I'm gonna give you a bell for that one. That's just
a good one.
Thanks.
That's all
Thank you.
good.
All right, so we've
I
gone.
was going to
to-
run
so-
an ad with that. I
right,
did.
so-
It was going to go. Who? I don't know, but I could tell you when and where it is. That was my ad.
Ah,
Nice.
creative.
Nice. All right, so here we go for the top 9. Can rain cause migraines, delay flights, be warm, cause allergies, put out a wildfire, affect Wi-Fi? My favorite personal one, can rain kill you? Just because, why not?
Everything could kill you.
Everything can kill you. Can cause headaches and make you sick. So yeah, there we go.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so last one. This will be the
All
last
right.
one that we do here.
Finale.
This is can clouds blank? Can
Be made by
clouds blank?
Can clouds.
What was that, Matthew?
I missed it.
Be made by airplanes.
I believe it or not, that's not in the top
Wow.
9.
Everybody
Oh,
knows
actually,
it's
I like
created by
that one.
airplanes. What are you talking about, Matthew? Everybody knows that already. They don't need to search that, right?
Phil's taking
Can
a
clouds
snooze.
delay my flight?
Oh, that's a good one.
it's
No,
low.
that is not on the list.
Oh, bummer.
Can clouds kill you? Hypothetically.
Yes.
Everything could
Can
kill
clouds
you,
kill
man.
you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every single weather thing I Googled was kill you. Like that was one of the top 9 for everything I searched.
It's so dark.
It's very dark.
Clouds.
People are
Let's do better,
dark.
Can
people.
clouds make it rain? Tying in the clouds and the rain
Can
together.
clouds make it
Clouds-
rain?
Can clouds be seeded for rain? Was one of them. So yeah,
Look at
Close
that. There you
enough.
go.
That's
Okay.
a good
How
one.
about can clouds turn into elephants and unicorns
Cut your
and
drinks down.
leprechauns?
Cut it down a little there, Phil.
You know
Can I
what?
see giraffes and I see a little pig there in the clouds?
I'm gonna give you number 4, which is the closest I can get, and that was can clouds catch on fire?
Oh God, you're not giving that to me.
So
I'm gonna
that was-
buzzer
How many people
myself for
had
that
to
one.
Google that?
That was a
to
giver.
show up?
That was
Yeah.
a gimme.
I love you,
I'm
Cyrena,
I'm
but
just using this as an excuse
I don't
because
deserve
that's my second favorite
Clouds catch
answer.
on fire.
That's my
Wow.
second favorite
Fire.
answer.
Someone's been
Alright.
Well, can
eating
they?
too many shrooms.
Yeah,
That
all right,
might have
so-
just been like a. I don't know. I'll leave that one.
all right. So any
Everything
last
can kill you.
guesses for what can clouds blank? No. All right, here I'll read you guys the top 9 then. Can clouds kill you? Obviously. Can clouds evaporate? Be different colors? Be seeded for rain? Be blue? Catch on fire? Fall from the sky? Freeze? And my favorite, can clouds reproduce? Was number 1.
Wow.
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 So, all right, marginal job, everybody. Thanks for playing along.
I brought the curve down.
We
Sorry.
got a C.
Wow.
We got a total C
I
in that
brought
class.
that curve down.
It was totally weird when I was Googling these things. I was like, this is so weird. So, all right. So, hey, for our guests, we want to make sure people can find you and follow you. So, let us know your social media handles here. We'll go around the room. We'll go ahead and start with Matt Cappucci. Where can people find you?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Tinder, just at Matthew Cappucci.
Wow. Swipe.
There's no time of day.
Just tossing Tinder in there casually, like it's no big deal. All right, cool. All right, Paxton, how can people follow you and find you?
Instagram, Paxton Calvanese, or if you go to the website, driveweatherapp.com on the about page, and there's some form there. It goes right to me if you want to reach out to me.
Very cool. All right, and Danielle, if people want to follow you, what's the best way for them to do so?
I would say Twitter. I'm probably I don't know. I haven't been very active recently, but it's probably my most public out of my social medias. And it's _ Danielle WX_. And I am on Facebook and I am on Instagram, but I'm not as active on there, I would say.
Yeah.
And I
No,
have
we get it.
TikTok too, but I don't really post weather TikToks on my TikTok, so I don't want to plug that.
Nope, we
You
get
know
it.
what?
We
I
all-
gotta say one thing, Cyrena. We need maybe one of our podcast shows. We could put Matt and Brady on, and like we'll do like a data meteorologist because
You
we're
mean like the calendar?
Brady's like my little brother,
Ooh,
so I'm always like looking
Get
out
a
for him.
meteorologist calendar. There we go.
that's
Yeah,
awesome. I
and we're
like
gonna
this.
like,
You know
yeah,
what? We'll raffle them off to the highest bidders.
yeah,
Wow.
Let's do that.
it's
Matt does not
okay.
seem like he hates the idea, so I'm
No,
gonna.
and like me, and especially like trust me and Cyrena, we wouldn't hook you up with anybody bad. Now the
Oh, no, I
guys, that's
trust
a whole
y'all.
other story.
Wow.
I trust y'all entirely. Find me someone to watch a meteor shower with and take storm chasing and get married beneath the eclipse with.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
if
so
that's,
sweet.
Wow.
that's
Now, do you like cats or dogs? Because Brady's a cat guy.
Oh, not a fan of cats. Yeah,
See,
you know,
we're
you
gonna
like
get the
dogs?
whole demographic. This is gonna be beautiful.
like, see, dogs.
I
dogs
think
are
I know
full
what
of-
my podcast takeover is going to be now.
Oh
We're gonna
God, here we
raffle
go.
off
Buckle
Matt
up.
and Brady.
Oh my
Buckle
gosh.
up.
I'm
Ding,
like,
ding,
I'm
ding.
gonna do something educational. Dina's like, we're raffling them off.
No.
We'll throw Paxton. Are you married? Are you remarried?
No, I'm single.
All
I'm just not
right,
saying
we'll throw
anything.
Paxton in too.
Yeah,
Paxton.
that's it.
Danielle,
Sounds like a
are you
telephone.
married?
Paxton in there.
No, I'm not married.
All right,
I
Daniel's
am
coming
in a-
on that too. We're
Oh,
gonna
no,
we're
no,
gonna
no.
bring everybody back
I'm
for
in a
Dina's
relationship.
The
takeover.
guys don't care. The girls,
What we
they'd
need to
be
do-
more picky.
What we need to do is something like, the Storm Chase Bachelor. Basically, you go storm chasing with someone you've never met before and see how it goes.
That would be a very dramatic and entertaining show.
That
think
would
so.
be a real test.
Yeah,
Which
I agree.
Especially
with
on the
the
Blue Sky
apps?
bus days. That would really be a test.
Oh my god.
What the hell are you gonna
Oh
do
my
now?
god. Yeah.
You
All
and
right,
your
cool. Well, hey,
person-
let's
Yeah,
take our last video break here.
Yeah, please.
So we're gonna go ahead and take a little tiny break, and when we come back, it's our famous Weatherful segment, and the Stormfront Freaks crew is going to share their favorite apps and the weather resources. Cool. All right. So little pause here so I can have a drink. And then Dan, MJ, any questions that you guys want to ask to our awesome guests here tonight?
MJ, you should stay on too. We'll fill the whole frickin' screen
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
You should stay
Yeah,
on,
we'll
too.
see. We'll
Just
see.
stay on. You get your pretty face on here. Dan, you got to have
Dan.
weather app questions. You got 4 weather app people. Got to something. We always miss stuff.
I do have a quick question about, so say someone had an idea for a weather app. What would be like their next steps?
That's an
I
amazing
would discourage
question.
it. But if you're serious, I mean, I would ask them how much money they have, and if they have quite a bit, I'd say let's talk. I actually get a lot of people asking me about apps and how to develop it and all that. I'm actually going to make a YouTube channel about it because it's a hugely sought subject. But you have to, if you're going to make an app nowadays, you have to have something unique about it, something that you're bringing to the table that's unique. I mean, a weather app is like a dating app. Like, you better do something interesting that's different. Otherwise, you better have like $50 million to saturate the market. I mean, it's just like that simple. So with me, it was like driving in weather, right? Like, I've seen probably seen the kitten weather or the puppy weather, right? There's an audience there, right, that gravitate toward that. I would never think that would be something that's valuable, but it, obviously, as you could look at it and say, oh, you can see it nowadays. And so everybody has a different kind of, based on their vision, a different flavor, right? And there's room for many, many different types of weather apps, right? Like, there's not one that's great or one that's the best that beats everybody. It's just like different flavors of ice cream. So if you have a different flavor that's legitimate, go for it. But you better make sure that flavor is very unique and it brings some other value. Otherwise you're going to waste your money.
Okay.
That's
Has
what I
anybody
would say.
has anybody thought of using geotagging and AI so it personalizes whatever it is on your app specifically for them? Okay, crickets. All right.
I will say that we have some very ambitious plans in the next 5 to 10 years that integrate some AI technology, some broadcast technology, some personalization, and stay tuned.
So he does have a 5 to 10 year plan. That's
There
good
you
to
go.
know.
He does.
That's good.
We're gonna mess that all up though after the dating app one though.
He'll still be single though because he's working too hard.
I have Twitter set to auto tweet things for a couple of years, just randomly.
Well, and Matthew, that was kind of my follow up. Was where do you see the future as well going? So thank you for that.
Yeah, I can, I guess, address that a little further. I think that in terms of both apps and media in general, what people want nowadays is connection. We saw during the pandemic, what people really need is connection. They thirst for it. People aren't really loyal to brands anymore. If I'm on channel 5 or 7 or 9 or 12 or whatever, people will still follow me in the same social media and go to whatever channel that is. 20 years ago, people would be loyal to a channel or a specific brand of chips or a specific whatever. And we're just seeing nowadays people want more personalities and that connection. And I think a weather app can do that through personalization. I think broadcasting can do that through personalization. That's why social media is taking off so quickly. People want less formal stuff. They want more sort of, conversationality. And I think if folks can combine both synergistically into an app design that makes people feel like they're not just getting numbers from a machine. They're actually interacting with someone or something. Then that's the recipe to success.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that.
Right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna move on. We have just a couple short segments for our guests. We have weather.
What'd you pee on?
Is Aurora.
Private chat. A little
Twice,
private
too.
chat fun there, folks.
Anyway, all right. So for our guests, feel free to hang around as long as you like. We're gonna do 2 segments after this. We're gonna do Weather Fools, where we show videos of very interesting people making interesting choices, and then we're gonna do a Weather Resources, where everyone's gonna just share their favorite app that they have. So you're more than welcome to hang around for it. If you've got to go, we also get it. So whatever you guys would like to do. Who has Weather Fools? I know I did not bring one today because I was slammed.
I have one.
Yep.
Okay.
I've got Dina 1 and Phil 2.
Okay. Awesome.
got
All
it
right, Dean.
In that
Naz,
order.
you didn't bring any this time?
I figured 3 is
Wow.
the perfect number for TV. So,
Wow. Yeah,
3 is the
that's-
perfect
That's
number.
a first.
Who's going to introduce that, though, because Greg is not here?
Dina's got it.
Dina.
Okay.
So don't forget to unmute yourself during the video.
So, Dina, do you want to do yours first and then Phil's, or do you want to say Phil first?
Sure.
and
So
you
it's
wanna
me
finish with
and then
yours?
Phil, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then it's episode 220.
Phil, episode 220. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And then Maz, you're good with the Weather Resources?
Yeah, you want me to pick up right after 220, or is there music?
I do have there's a video for it.
Okay. How long?
Yeah, a
is
little intro video, and you can just unmute
It's
yourself. and come
8 seconds.
it? Oh, okay. Okay. Awesome.
Cool. All right. So yeah, so we'll just have, and so you can basically just go around the room and ask everyone to share their favorite app, weather apps. But and if it's not a weather app, it could be any app. I don't know, whatever. See if someone's
Tinder.
got something entertaining.
Wow.
I got you, Matthew.
Why not? It could be whatever they want. And then after that, after you say, you can find that on the episode 220 show notes, then we'll wrap it up. And I think,
You got it.
man, I think that's everything. We missing
That's
anything,
it.
Phil?
No, you got it.
All right.
It's your show. I don't know. You asked me. Are you missing it?
I have no
All
clue
right.
what I'm doing.
Make him do something
great.
stupid with it, Cyrena.
That's awesome.
All right, so we're going to come in with a couple of videos again.
Yep.
About really only 2.5 minutes or so of it, and then
Cool. And then
Okay.
Dino will come in with Weather Fools. That sounds
and then
perfect.
Dina will come in. Yep. So I'll move Dina into the screen.
Awesome. Anyone have any questions? We
Ready to
good?
go?
Really?
All right.
Let's roll.
Sit tight. Here.
Hi, Stormfront Freaks podcast listeners. Did the release of Twisters get you pumped for getting out and seeing some storms, but you're just not sure how to get started? You can kick off your adventure with Girls Who Chase on March 1st, 2025 at the Storm Chasing 101 training event we call Spring Training. And if you register by October 31st, 2024, you'll get an extra discount. The annual Spring Training event, and yes, the pun is intended, provides accessible, entry-level, and foundational information and training material for storm chasers at all levels. Spring trainees will range from those who want to begin their chase education or brush up on the basics to more advanced chasers who want to learn more about in-depth specialized topics. Just like in baseball, we gather every spring to shake off the rust, refresh our skills, and get ready to hit a home run. Spring training is provided in partnership with the leading meteorology education organization, ComEt's MedEd program. This allows for the program to always be held virtually and remain affordable. Girls Who Chase is a global community, and we believe strongly in making science and learning accessible to everyone without the constraints of travel or financial hardship. And if you can't make it on March 1st, don't worry. All presentations will be recorded and made permanently available to registrants. For information on the topics, speakers, and schedule as they become available, visit our website, girlswhochase.com/spring training. That's girlswhochase.com/spring training for more information. We hope to see you there.
Don't miss Vintage Stormfront Freaks.
This one here, we do have a few dents in the new Suburban, but my truck, that hood's a trophy.
You might as well put 2 GoPros on there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what it looks like.
So I'm like, I'm going to drive this thing into a tornado, and then they all start laughing.
Good. You'll be the only sober one by the end of the night.
Hi, I'm Storm Chaser Vince Welty, and this is the Stormfront Freaks.
Let's take a drive under the moon. Let's take a drive under the somber sky. Let's take a drive under the moon.
Oh, yeah. We're,
Hi, Dina. You were muted there, so you might want to start again.
I was, I did unmute.
Well, we started the Weather Fools video, and it muted you again. So.
Oh, it did. Okay.
So go ahead and start again. That's all right. We're good.
I unmuted for
we
the
just
record.
Missed what you said.
All right, this is the time of the show where when you do stupid things and you're caught on video, we make fun of you. Okay. So I know I have one and Phil has one.
That's all we missed. Yeah. Okay.
That's all you missed. Okay, so I'm going to premise this as I hope this guy's okay, because who knows what happened to him. But this guy decided he was getting interviewed that he was going to stay in Hurricane Milton in Tampa Bay on his boat. God told him to stay. He was going to be good, and he just felt like his boat was safer than on land. And he's like, I'm good. I'm good. I can't. And I don't want to make fun, but he was missing a leg. So he said he was going to swim around in circles if he fell out of the boat. And the guy's like, well, you're going to put a life jacket on? No, man. But if any of the ladies want to come stay with me, that'd be good. This is quite a long one.
Yeah. This is Lieutenant Dan. Yeah.
But this is one of those things like, come on, man. But he just felt like he said, if it's 100-foot wave, I'm going to go up in my boat and be fine. I'm better here than on land. So, I mean,
to his credit, Dina, I remember he did say he would get off the boat if there were some ladies that would go to the hotel with him. That was the only thing that was going to get him off the boat.
Too, so I don't know, but I was like, come on, man.
We should have tracked.
There was even some brief news that he had left. There was a story on the news at one point that was like, oh, he left. He's evacuated. And then it was debunked and it was like, nope, he didn't. He's still on his boat.
We got to do a follow-up. Where are they now?
I mean, I hope he's okay. And I was a little weary about making fun of this one, but I was like,
Yeah.
come on, dude. Don't
I
do
think he's
stupid
all right,
shit.
but that's Lieutenant Dan. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Dina.
All right, Phil, you've got one too, right?
So I got a
This
couple.
is
They
yours?
both come from our fan Luna Light. I call this aliens because this TV meteorologist freaks out as a bug crosses the lens of the camera. And I've seen this happen before, but
dude.
MJ, this is Care 11 in the Twin Cities. This must have been
Yes,
in the
it is.
backyard.
That's the morning meteorologist on Care 11. Yeah.
Was he in the backyard, or maybe they still had the patio doors
Yeah,
open
they do.
from
No,
the backyard?
they still do. They still do backyard. Yep, that's where he was.
So
That's
that bug
amazing.
crosses, and,
Oh, so
and
the
then it
camera
comes
was in the
again, and
backyard?
it's like he's gonna throw up.
Ew.
And then he gets some help from one of his on-air partners that comes with an umbrella to try and shoo it away. It's like, shoo, get away, bug, get away.
It would have been funnier if one of the ladies came on to protect him from the bug.
Oh my god, he really freaks out though.
Oh
It's
my
pretty-
god,
Yeah,
this
he
bug,
really did.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
Oh
Anyway,
my
right on the
God.
lens. All right, and the other one,
Like
Luna Light scent is, I call it what? Water? What? And this was in, I believe, Tampa during Hurricane Helene. So this was a couple weeks ago on one of the bridge. This is a bridge, folks. This is a bridge. Look where the water level
bridge?
is on the bridge. It's going
Why?
over the bridge, the side of the bridge. It is just, completely covered and soaked, and cars are still, whoop. I'm going to go across during this,
There's not another way around.
during these white caps
I
that are
don't know.
coming across onto the bridge. So not
That's a
real
lot of
smart.
Oh
people.
Lord.
That's
I don't know if you guys remember this, but originally we were going to call this Weather Morons instead of Weather Fools. And one of the first co-hosts that was on with us didn't like that idea. So I came up with something else, called it Weather Fools, but it's interchangeable. Weather Morons,
it
Weather
is.
Fools.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
if you
we
want to
got-
watch any of these again, if you're just listening and you want to get on, you can get on our episode 220 show notes at thestormfrontfreaks.com.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah, we know what you want. You want to find out what we all do and watch and look at for weather apps. So we're going to kind of go around. This is called Weather Resources. We're going to ask everybody, what's your favorite app and why? And so, because it's her night, let's start with Weather Cyrena, shall we?
Oh man, really? Okay. All right. I'm gonna extend mine out to space weather for the night being.
Whoa.
Because
You're
so
getting out
because
there.
I know, wild, right? Look out, y'all. So I don't have a ton of weather apps on my phone. I have I think 2. And being a
Two?
meteorologist, yeah, and I think I really only use 1. But yeah, so I have 2 on my phone. Being a meteorologist, like weather apps aren't I just don't have a ton of them because I know the weather pretty well. But what I do not know is space weather. And especially with the events going on right now, I have an app that's called Aurora. And I know there's a whole bunch of Aurora apps out there, but I really like this one that I've downloaded because it takes into account location services, but also integrates weather data into it and gives you a likelihood of being able to see it. And it shows you the KP index and shows you the G-storm levels and shows you all these maps. And for someone like me who doesn't know a lot about space weather, having an app like this is really helpful. And also with location services, it'll notify me and it'll come to me and it'll tell me, hey, go look outside. You have an X% chance of seeing it right now. And it's from 1% to 100%. And so I've been watching it all night, and it does forecasts out for different time periods. And for someone like me who just doesn't know a lot about it, I really, really love it because I'm just not a super knowledgeable space weather person, but this makes me feel like I know what I'm doing.
So what did it tell you for
called
tonight?
again?
What was your percentage?
Yep. So it's called Aurora. And so I'm sitting at a whopping 8% right now,
Really?
just with what's going on. But that's going to probably be peaking again here as Earth rotates back towards facing the sun a little bit more. It might come up again, but it's great because it just I'm sure if I hold it up, it won't show. It has lots of data, and that always makes me happy.
Did you pee on Greg's Aurora? Did I hear that
Ah.
correctly?
I mean,
Let's see that.
he's not here, so imagine
People a no-show?
Greg was a no-show.
He no-showed Serena's takeover.
It was a
Can you believe that?
no-show.
Greg.
I know.
Where's the bell? Shame. Shame.
All
Where's the
right,
buzzer, Phil?
All right, Dina. Aside from your own,
Okay.
what's your
Aside
favorite
from my
weather?
own, you know what? I do like Weather Underground. I like it too because you get all the personal weather stations on it. I have one in my backyard, and I bought the hub. It's like wait, that way. It's back there, and I can connect it to the Weather Underground. So like I can share my weather station data. I can see other people's weather station data all over the place. So I do like that one.
Is it mounted in a good place?
It's in my backyard, mounted just the way they told me to, so many
Okay.
feet high and facing the correct direction. And it's really, I love that weather. In fact, I got it through us, I think, through the Storm from
Yeah.
Freaks. And I've had it
That's
for
awesome.
a couple years now.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, Danielle. So again, aside from AccuWeather, what's your favorite personal weather app? And why?
As a meteorologist, I use RadarScope a lot. I like to be able to go around the country and kind of see what other radars are showing. And in the wintertime, I'd say probably MPing. Actually, I know RadarScope kind of integrates MPing data, but getting a lot of mixed precipitation in the Northeast, I really enjoy, kind of hearing like the pitter patter of sleet, and I'm like, oh, I should go report it. So that's one thing that I really like to do. And besides AccuWeather, I do use the Weather Channel app too. I will admit to that. I have both, so I like to cross-reference them.
Hey.
And one more personal question for Danielle. So
Yeah.
Arizona or Montana, if you were going to move somewhere, where would you move?
Probably Montana, if I'm being honest. Yeah.
Okay. Is that because of the cold and the snow?
I would too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't think I could do the heat. I mean, maybe up north in Arizona, but it still gets pretty hot up there still. So it'd probably be Montana. Probably
Where did that
Missoula.
question come from?
Because she was an intern and she's actually been to both places.
Well, no, I haven't been. Let me preface. I haven't been there in person. I would really like to visit someday. Yeah, it was kind of like a remote internship, but I was getting data. It was kind of like quality controlling that data and cross-referencing radar and METAR observations, that sort of thing.
Okay. So you're no longer welcome in Arizona. I'm just letting you know. So you just took out a whole bunch of people. But anyway. All right, Paxton, besides your own app, what's your favorite
Besides my
weather
own,
app?
are there any apps besides my own? I'd have to say Underground Weather, although I do like My Radar. I think they did a really, like the initial interface is really cool. So I do check out that one once in a while. But I do like also Underground Weather.
Why do you like it? What is it about it?
Just the interface. I like the circle interface. So I did that in like atmosphere weather, but it's just it's a simple, easy to understand. To me, it's all about one of the things about weather. There's so much weather information, right? Like, and I appreciate designs that are well thought out and deliver it in a way that's digestible, right? Like that one. And so I think they did a pretty good job of it. That's all.
Wait, show it again. Every time MJ moves you back out, he's like, no, we're not showing. There it is.
That was
There
my
it
other
is.
one, atmosphere weather. That's when I go,
excellent.
but if I couldn't choose mine, my other one.
Good weather apps. Okay, Matthew, you're up next. Besides your own, what do you like and why?
Ooh, can that include websites?
It depends, as long as it's clean.
Don't say Tinder.
I am obsessed with SPC mesoanalysis. I love just getting the raw station data. I love doing mesoanalysis. There's nothing I enjoy more than every morning when I'm storm chasing, going down to the Hilton or Hampton or Super 8 lobby, sitting there, having my morning mini muffin, having like 3 plates of bacon, and then just doing the mesoanalysis. I enjoy it so much. It's my all-time favorite. That College of DuPage is a really good site. I like that you can click on the map and get free NAM soundings. So I'd say those two are my favorite. I'm not a big like app person, believe it or not. And I don't mean that in terms of like, I don't like apps. It's just that I'm old. I mean,
You're the second youngest person
Dude,
here.
Are you
I know
serious?
I'm circling the drain.
Old soul. Right.
I need like a big screen of a laptop. Even right now, you guys are my laptop, so I need something big. So when I'm sitting down forecasting, I'm like that, and I'm not like,
Right. So, girls, if you like mesoanalysis, make sure.
I was
you
just
check
thinking,
out
if some girl goes up and says, "I like a good mesoanalysis with a side of bacon,"
oh my gosh,
I'm giving her your name.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, MJ, let's go to you, sir. We never get to hear from you. So, I caught you on the spot, didn't I? Make sure you unmute.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. No.
I know it.
No, well, because I can say it. It's because it's not my app. I like my radar. I like that one. I heard Radar Scope mentioned. I use that one quite a bit too.
Yep.
Those are probably the two.
Okay. All right. Nice. Phil, let's go to you.
All right. So I've only got a few here, but I'm going to go through all of them because they're all integral to what I do. So MPing, as Danielle said, especially during mixed precipitation, because I know it's hard to forecast freezing rain, snow, rain, grapple, what's going on. So when it's kind of mixed, I do like to report that so people are aware. I seem to be, am I freezing up and...
Yeah, it's okay.
Your sound is solid.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Right, sound solid. All right, Radar Scope is definitely my go-to chasing app and velocity radar. SatSquatch for looking at GOES satellite imagery.
That's such
Hurricane
a cool
Tracker.
one. They don't have that one on Android. Makes me sad.
Hurricane Tracker. My radar is my go-to for seeing in the U.S. full kind of radar of what's going on when I don't want to ping each little radar and see what's happening, next door that this radar is not going to see. So I like to do that. WTF forecast on a day that I just want to hear my app give me the F word. I've got Drive Weather, which I
what's
love.
What's that one called again?
WTF forecast or WT forecast, but it's capital WTF. It's very similar to Carrot Weather, but it'll just tell you how your day is going to be. Drive Weather, which I love, Paxton, especially in the winter. For me, winter driving, to know what I might run into or what I might hit, and should I delay my trip a couple hours, and I might actually get there at the same time or sooner because of the weather, winter weather especially. Fox Weather, just because I can get live coverage live. I don't have to have cable because I don't have cable.
Only an hour and a half show
to watch that. I've got a Lightning app. I don't really use that much. Weather Champs sometimes, but I'll share this. So Paxton, honestly, so I showed this earlier, the Atmosphere Weather app. This is my daily weather app. So if I'm just looking to see, hey, what's the weather going to be like today? What's temperature? What's going to be the high? Is it going to be cloudy, not cloudy, whatever. This is my go-to. It's so easy to figure out. I love it. So good stuff.
Cool.
Awesome. You
Thanks.
win. You're going to give yourself a ding on that one. That's the most, I think. Does your bosses know that you actually
Was
have
it
all those
100 or
apps?
200?
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Hey, Dan, unmute yourself, buddy. Tell us. I want to ask you, what's your favorite?
I've got several that I use, but I'd like to give a shout out to the Red Cross. I believe it's Red Cross that has the Tornado app. So that's one that's, I think, underrated a lot.
All right.
Does it tell you where the tornadoes are, or what? What do you like about it?
It does like a geofencing tornado warning alert. So it's good for folks that need something like that.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, guys. I like Weather Underground. I mean, I like a lot of apps, but Weather Underground is probably the one I use every single day, multiple times a day. And like you, Dina, I've got my weather station in the backyard, and so I'm constantly checking what's it like at my house too.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because it's always different than everybody else.
It is. I liked even checking all the rainfall that we had with Helene. Like right. I was at I think 6.98 or something. I'm like, okay, you guys in the neighborhood, that's what we got.
Okay. And I will say one other thing I really like is with that, because I've got like 20 different locations that I use for places that I go and family and all that stuff, and be able to just when you're in your radar, I don't care what location you can like pull in, pull out, move right there without having to go to the next location, which I really like that. It's real quick. So anyway, I'm an easy kind of guy. Anyway, all right, awesome. Thank you all for participating with that. You can find all of these and more on episode 220 in the show notes area.
Awesome. Cool. Oh my gosh. Well, that just about does it for my podcast takeover episode here with Stormfront Freaks Live. Thank you so much for tuning in, for watching, for listening, however you take in these shows. But do us a favor. If you like the show, hit the follow or subscribe button for sure. It helps us get discovered and help us get discovered by sharing this episode, also on social media posts. And don't forget that if you like and subscribe, you'll also be notified when we go live. So when we do outbreak streams and stuff like that, it can be incredibly helpful. So thank you so much to our guests tonight, Paxton, Matthew, Danielle. We'll go around the room here and find out how people can follow you and your content here for the Freaks. Phil, I get to ask you tonight, man.
Yeah, hey, so you usually follow me at Stormfront Freak on Twitter. That's usually where I spend most of the time. Obviously, I post Stormfront Freak stuff there, but I'll retweet and post some other stuff.
Very cool. Awesome. All right, Dina, how can people find you?
I am Lady Pilot 70 on Instagram, X, Threads, pretty much the base. I'm not big on TikTok. I don't do a lot of that, so you'll find me more on X and Instagram.
Very cool. All right, Maz, how can people find you?
You can find me on X. I'm an Elon fan. I like Elon. I like smart people. What can I say? You can find me at Money Storm. I almost said Mother.
Musk.
At Money Storm. The number 4, the letter U. That's at Money Storm for you.
Awesome. Very cool. Hey, let's include MJ and Dan here tonight in this as well. They're part of the show. MJ, how can people find you?
Yep. You want to check out X or Twitter at Mark, M-A-R-C, Mark Stormpod.
Awesome. Cool. And Dan, how can people find you?
I believe I'm Dan Wallace WX on YouTube.
I believe. I think.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
You're like Maz. It's like I think it's no. I think there's a this at the end of it, maybe. Yeah.
There's maybe an underscore. I don't remember. No, this is good. Awesome. Cool. All right. So you can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Everything is at WX Cyrena. That's WXCYRENA. We're going to continue with these takeover episodes. So for the next episode, our co-host Brady Harris, aka Stormcat 5, is going to be taking over the show, putting it all together. I'm going to order my sunglasses now. None of us know what to expect, except with Brady, it's going to be pretty epic. So it's going to be live Thursday, October 24th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on YouTube. And the audio podcast is available that weekend on your podcast player. So let's see. I'm signaling here. I get to signal the all clear, Phil. Phil, this is so weird.
Ooh.
And also, Phil, I don't think anyone realizes just how much work you put into these shows and these episodes until you have to do it yourself. This has been a lot of fun, but I also have about 300% more respect for you, man. It's a lot of fun.
Finally,
but it's also
I finally
hard
get
work.
your respect, whatever it takes.
That was the purpose.
Yeah.
So
See
with that, we'll
everybody.
catch you all later. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a good time.
Good night.
Thank you for tuning in to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. You can watch our bi-weekly show live on youtube.com/StormfrontFreaks and download the audio version on your favorite podcast player. For links to our Patreon team of exclusive benefits, show notes, past shows, new videos, merchandise, and more, visit our website at stormfrontfreaks.com. While you're there, check out our interactive chaser radar from our friends at zoomradar.com. If you'd like to contact us with questions or make comments about the show, shoot us an email to questions@stormfrontfreaks.com or follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. Search for Stormfront Freaks. We'd love to hear from you. Join us next time and tell a friend about the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Yay, way to go, Cyrena.
Good
Congratulations. Good job, Danielle.
Awesome.
Woo,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Were you
thank you guys for
drinking,
having
Cyrena?
me.
Yeah, so good to
Glad
have
to
you,
have you,
Danielle.
Danielle.
Thanks
Yeah.
for joining us. And you kick that imposter syndrome right to the curb because we all face that and see that. You tell that shit to just
Yeah.
mess right on.
Yeah, it's been a journey for sure. But yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, I don't really know what to say, but I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank, but
You're good. No,
yeah.
you're good.
Yeah,
Yeah, as
I
long as
really
you had fun.
appreciate you inviting me. So yeah, this
Yeah.
is my
What
first
kind of
ever.
shift do you have, Danielle? Are you like early mornings? Are you normal
I
shifts?
I do overnights, and I did that by choice, actually. They usually start new hires on overnights, but that hasn't necessarily totally been the case. There's some people that work like a 9 to 5, regular 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, but I've basically been doing 10 to 6 at night or 11 to 7.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of products that get sent out in the morning. But yeah, it's really fun. I really like what I do. And if you guys have any more questions for me before I go, I'd be happy to answer them.
No, I was just happy to have you here.
Yeah. Okay.
How did you guys
and
hook
good
up,
luck.
Cyrena? How did you connect to Danielle?
Yeah, so I put out on my TikTok, like, hey, I'm going to do this episode. Like, I want to do something. I want to do it on the weather apps. And she PM'd me. And she's like, hey, I work at AccuWeather. If you want an AccuWeather person, message me. And I was like, tell me a little bit about yourself. And she did. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's give you, like, you know, you don't have to have 25 years experience to be able to talk about a weather app. And I really, you have no idea, Danielle, how much I respected the fact that you reached out and were like, I want to do it. So I was like,
yeah,
there's your chance. Like, let's just do it.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. And you know, kind of being here, I was a little bit, you know, intimidated. I'm like, oh, I'm obviously the youngest person here, the most inexperienced here, but I think I did an okay job.
No, you did great.
You did great.
No,
You did,
I
you did
appreciate it.
awesome.
Yeah.
I just thought, like I said, I love the fact that you were like, hey, let me do it. I want to do it. And I was like, sure, tell me, you know, you fit the background. And it's like, we need a wide variety of people with all different experiences. So
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome. So thanks
Yeah.
for reaching out and taking a risk.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.
See, Mama G says you did great.
Mama G
Ooh,
said
why
you
am I
did
squeaky?
great.
All right. I'm gonna head out, but
Yeah, you got to
take
shift
care,
again.
everybody. Well, actually, no, I'm not working tonight.
Well, then
I'm
you got to
off.
stay up. I mean, what are you leaving for? You're not going to sleep.
Yeah.
The
It's only
Aurora.
10:46 Eastern.
I might go outside and try to view the Aurora, but I downloaded the Aurora
Yeah.
app that you talked about, and it says like 4%. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure how
mine's-
good it'll be at
I
this
think I'm
point.
going to, I'm going to have to get back up again at like 3 a.m. to see if it gets better because it's
My
Get your
wife
phone.
went out. My wife went out just like 15-20 minutes ago and sent me a picture she took. So they're
And
out.
was it good?
Oh, she can see it.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's see it.
okay.
I don't know. You
Oh
can't.
yeah, I have. This is a friend of
Oh,
mine
that's
sent me
nice.
this.
Yeah.
She's in Minnesota. She
Oh,
sent me
nice.
this.
Yeah, that's really nice. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like,
Oh, look at that,
damn,
MJ.
yeah.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I've been
Yeah,
seeing a
phones
lot of
pick it up really well.
I've
So
been
good.
seeing a lot of
Yeah.
Albany ones from my people back in Albany, but yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Well, Danielle, thank you. Yeah, you
Yeah.
were
Yeah,
awesome.
thanks
Yeah,
for
Yeah.
thank
coming.
you. It was
Great
nice
having
to
Yeah.
Thank
meet
you so
you.
much.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course. I subscribe to the podcast too, so I'll
Awesome.
be tuning in.
Good. If you ever
Right.
need us, just reach out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you,
No
Danielle.
problem. Have a good
All
night.
right.
Yeah, you too. How do I leave? Okay, I see.
How do I leave?
All right. Take care, everybody.
Kinda
Bye.
awkward.
Bye.
She wasn't even drinking.
How do I
That's
leave
funny.
this place? What the hell?
Oh, she was adorable.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Oh.
really, I mean, like I already said it, but I thought it was brave. Like sure. Here's like, go ahead. Let's
Yeah.
do it, you know? So it was fun.
Serena, that was awesome. Good job.
Yeah, you
Good
did
job.
great.
Yeah, very
That
well.
was fun.
Well done.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank
That
you
was
all.
fun.
So, because you can't do it by yourself, you need everybody. So I was like, I just want it to be educational, and I'm trying to make it fun at the same time. And sometimes it's hard to do both. So
What's the next one you're doing? Give me another date.
He wants a vacation.
She's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
no.
no, you got to go through all
Especially
these
after
other
a
freaks
hurricane.
before you come back to me. Well, and you know what else is crazy? Like the timing of it, I couldn't I couldn't back out and be like, oh, I can't do this week. But
Yeah, no, I would not have let you do that.
no, I know you wouldn't have, and that's fine. But it's like we had the hurricane and all that,
I
so I'm
would've.
trying to do all the weather
would've.
coverage or whatever. But my dog had to have surgery too. My dog had to have a leg
Oh.
amputated.
Oh no.
Oh.
Is that why? Is that your puppy
Aw.
you've been talking to?
Yeah, so
Oh.
he's sitting next to me here.
Oh.
So he literally, he had to stay the night, so he just came home from the emergency vet, like the surgery place yesterday.
Mm.
And so he's like kind of high maintenance, and so it's just like I have so much on my plate right now. But I was like, it's been a good distraction with everything going on, which has been
Does he look at you like, what happened, Mama?
yeah,
What
kind
did you
of.
do to me, Mom?
I know. He's like, what the hell? He's looking at me now. He's stretching. So anyway, yeah. So it's just been like, whew,
Yeah,
man,
there
crazy.
are always weeks that it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to throw something
like
together. But
yeah, like life happens. So the good thing was is that, like I knew who I wanted to talk to in advance, and had reached out to people to get approval probably about a month ago ish. Like, hey, do you want to do it? All right, cool. I'll be in touch last minute when it comes together.
Yeah.
So
which honestly, that's how I do it too. Is I'm booking out a couple months in advance, 2, 3, sometimes 3 months or more in advance, just so I've just got it set up, and then I just tell them, hey, the week of, I'll reach back out at that point, and then sometimes you get some that like you were dealing with, possibly a Matthew saying I might not be able to make it, and Paxton saying I might not be able to make it, and fortunately it worked out well, but sometimes they don't, and then you scramble to figure out a new plan. And
I was messaging people today because I wasn't. So I got up at 6:00 this morning and was because in the middle of the night I was like, I thought of a couple of other people that I could include, and so I sent them messages this morning like, hey, what are you doing tonight, just in case I needed some backups. So.
Yeah.
But it all worked out. So
yep.
Yeah, it all worked out.
It was great.
Oh, good.
Cool.
Right,
Dina, what's yours
to be? Say goodnight to our online folks.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in,
Night,
everybody.
Mama G. Night, Fuzzy.
Bye.